Hi, my name's Mr. Gray. I've just put this short video together for you to give you a bit of a better idea if further PE is the right choice for you. Also, there's some information between the two courses that we offer as well. So if you are sure, then you can start to make a bit of a decision between the two. I'll be delivering the course myself, but it could be that any one of the PE team, Miss Brown, Mr. Elliott, Mr. Cook and Miss Howard will be teaching the course as well. So we offer two courses, as I've said. One is sports science and the other is sports studies. The OCR is simply just the awarding body, and it is an OCR national, which I suppose you would be wanting to know. It's the equivalent of a GCSE, but the style of learning is a little bit different to a GCSE in that it's largely coursework based. There is an exam aspect to it, but it only makes up 25%. Also, the OCR Nationals are accepted as an equivalent by colleges, so it could link to an A-level or a BTEC Level 3 course that you wanted to do when you went to college. So the question next is the further PE the right choice for you? And I suppose I'm going to be saying the same thing as many other teachers in other subjects. The real question that you ask yourself first of all is, do you enjoy the subject? And you're probably thinking, yeah, that's why you're looking at the video. A little bit of something to think about to help you with that is, are you involved in any extracurricular sport? So that's physical activity that you would do outside of your PE lessons. If the answer is yes, that means we're kind of talking to you as what we would call a committed sports person. You're already doing stuff extra. If not, it probably means that you're not enjoying sport enough for what the course entails. But by all means, sort of listen on to the video and see what you think. Really, it's a question of your motivation and how organised you are and how hard-working you are in your own time. So if you're thinking of opting for further PE, just to clarify, it does run separately from your normal PE lessons. So the core PE lessons that you've already had, 2 lessons a week for an hour each lesson, that carries on through into year 10 and 11. You're not opting out of that. Further PE, as it suggests, would be more PE lessons on top of that. So your normal PE lessons, the style does change a little bit and you get a little bit more choice in terms of options with what you do. But other than that, things are very similar to the PE that you are aware of. Further PE is 3 more lessons on top of the 2 that you already have. But the style is different, as I said. You'll be largely in the classroom doing learning, a little bit deeper about the theoretical aspects of PE and sport, whereas your normal PE lessons that you are familiar with are more kind of enjoyment based and finding out about different areas of sport that you enjoy. So looking at sports studies, first of all, you'll complete 4 units and they're equally weighted. The first unit is an external exam and it's about the reasons for engaging in sport. The second unit is about improving your practical ability. As I said earlier, there's an expectation that you're already doing clubs or teams in and out of school on a team sport as well as an individual sport. I'll talk about that a little bit more in terms of what those sports are a bit later. The third unit is a written assessment where a wider interest in sport and events will really help your engagement. So hopefully you enjoy watching sport as well as playing it. And the fourth unit for you is probably the biggest consideration between the 2 options. It's where you guys have to lead a group of your peers through a session. So you've got to be aware that you're going to be planning a detailed lesson plan. You're then going to have to deliver that, as I say, in a group of say 10 or 15 students of your age, and then you review it. So for some people, that's a little bit scary. So that's something to consider. I have to say, when I was in year 10, it would have sort of been something that I would have been worried about. But sometimes you have to kind of do things that you're not always that comfortable with if ultimately, you know, this is the course that you want to do. So the second option is sports science. Okay, so the sports science route, again, we'll start with an external exam as the first unit. The second unit is the practical aspect as well. However, there's no kind of expected performance level in different sports. The practical aspect is planning, performing your own fitness workout. It's a 6-week training program. Okay, so really for sports science, your practical ability just has to be an enjoyment of exercise. Okay, the third unit is the type of content that you'd probably expect if you were sort of told, you know, sports science. You would expect to see things about muscles and bones and understanding how the body works. So that's what you get in the third unit. And the fourth unit links things nicely together from all 3 units about how a healthy diet can support your health, fitness and exercise. One other benefit of further PE is that our exams are offset from the rest of your GCSEs. So effectively it would ease the burden a little bit in the final weeks of year 11. We'll sit the exams at the end of year 10 and at the start of year 11. Okay, so hopefully that might be a positive for you as well. So just going back to the practical side of sports studies, here's a short list of activities that JCQ have deemed acceptable sports to offer for both teams and an individual list. This is the teams list we're looking at. So you have to think, is that one of the sports that I can do on there as a team player? And moving on to the individual list, there's a list of activities, and again you'd have to be competent at one of those as well. So the expectation is that you can do one from the team list and one from the individual list to a competent level. That basically means hopefully you're being involved outside of PE lessons in those activities. So the skills that you learn from both courses can help you with some career choices in the future. The sort of things that the skills lead themselves nicely towards are coaching, teaching, things in the leisure industry, maybe being a personal trainer or an official. There's also links to armed forces, journalism, sports journalism, some sports coordinator roles, or maybe even the marketing aspect of sport as well. Just to finish up, we asked some of our previous students who completed the course what their advice would be if they had the opportunity to talk to somebody who was in the process of deciding whether they should take further PE as an option. So my favourite one is about the teachers being great. Hopefully you picked up some advice there as well. What you probably noticed from the messages is that all of the courses involve a lot of work, but the people that did that work were happy to because it was a subject that inspires them. So I think the overwhelming majority of our students do find it difficult, but they enjoy the challenge. So please come and seek advice if you want about which course you think is best suited to you. Maybe you've already developed an idea yourself. There is no rush, however, to do that. Really, with your options form, it's just a decision as to whether you want to do further PE or something else. You don't have to identify which of the 2 courses you want to do on your options form. You'll just put down further PE. You don't have to say science or studies. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you guys soon.